Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me first to introduce myself. My name is Alia Bujsaim, and I'm very delighted and honored to be with everyone today. I'm happy to welcome you all to our panel discussion on the role of effective leadership in achieving business success through the book The Leader's Legacy with our Emirati author, Mr. Ahmed AlZarooni.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Thank you very much. Firstly, I would like to thank the Mohammed bin Rashid Library team for setting up this event. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we will explore how outstanding leadership can drive business growth and leave a lasting impact. Effective leadership is not just a skill. It is an art. It inspires, guides, and empowers individuals to work towards a common goal, driving business success and leaving a lasting legacy. We'll know more about these details. We'll know more about skills, or let's say hidden skills, with the author, Mr. Ahmed AlZarooni. In The Leader's Legacy, Mr. Ahmed AlZarooni provides a roadmap to an understanding the core principles and practices to define exceptional leadership. First of all, good evening once again, Mr. Ahmed AlZarooni. Mr. Ahmed AlZarooni, we would like to hear a welcoming sentence from you, and then we'll dig deep into the panel discussion.
Thank you for having me. It's really an honor, pleasure, and this is a dream come true, but without you guys, it's nothing. So thank you everyone.
You're very welcome, sir. Before getting into the official question, what made Mr. Ahmed AlZarooni came with this subtitle, Leaders Who Create Leaders?
Okay, that's a good one. Leaders who create leaders. The subtitle was because we see many leaders and we see many followers, but the real rule, our real rule is to create future leaders. That's what defines us. This is something, when you give back, when you create, this is where you get happiness from. And this is what I have seen in all my years. As long as I gave somebody, even if I had 1% of development or growth for this certain individual, it gave me a dopamine rush like no other. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I call it leaders who create leaders. Those are the true leaders.
So, Mr. Ahmed, you believe that any leader can have a generation of leaders after him?
I do believe any leader can have a generation of leaders after him if they have the right skills. And like you said, leadership is a skill.
True.
And like any skill, it could be learned.
Sure.
So if they learn and how to be in service of others instead of service of themselves,
sure,
that's what will make the difference.
Amazing. So now we'll go to the official question. Mr. Ahmed AlZarooni, how would you describe the main message or key takeaways readers can expect from your book, Leader's Legacy?
Okay, I'd say the Leader's Legacy has 3 parts to it. The first part being leading oneself, and the second part being leading others. The third one, I wouldn't call it a full part, I'd call it a chapter 15, leading upwards and managing upwards, that we really need in this part of the world, because when it comes to that, we do not know how to react or behave. In terms of leading oneself, it's finding your purpose, it's identifying your goals, how to achieve those goals, how to surpass any problems that you have while going towards your goals. It's how to create a culture that vibes, a family culture within the organization, and how to really identify and create future leaders. I'd say that's in a nutshell if I had to say about the book.
Amazing. Mr. Ahmed, how would you define delegation in the context of leadership, and why is it essential for effective management?
I'd say delegation is very important. Delegation is very important. The main reason being delegation is important is, I'm sorry, there's just some sound over there. So
I think there is a sound on the background. Can you please lower the sound? Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
No problem, sir.
Okay, to go back to your question in terms of delegation, delegation is twofold. One is creating space for the leader himself, and second is developing the other leaders or the future leaders' skill sets. Now, if we look into delegation and put it into a sheet and we divide it into 4 equal parts. So we have a line which is of importance, a line of urgency. So in the left corner, left down corner will be low importance and low urgency. So over here, the best thing that you could do is eliminate this task because it's not adding much value or not adding any value. And then if we go up, if we see importance is high, yet urgency is not, this is where we delegate. This is where we delegate, but of course we have a hawk's eye because it's an important task.
True.
Then you go to the urgent and not very important. This also you delegate. And you know, this is the best part of delegation because it's not too important. So if he drops the ball, it's fine, but you can see them, you know, think fast.
Yes.
On their feet.
Yeah.
So this is how you develop that skill over there. Of course, then you have the top right, which is high importance, high urgency. This is something you do yourself. And you do not take on another task with the same magnitude until you have completed this one. So that's delegation, if I would have to put it together.
Mr. Ahmed AlZarooni, if we will speak about the types of leadership and the type of skills, I think this question is not one of the listed questions. This is just a follow-up question. I would like to know if you can define some of the skills that leadership or any leader can use it as a skill for themselves or to improve themselves.
Listening. We can all listen. We can all listen.
Can we all
everyone.
listen?
There is something I use. I learned it long back. I used it because I used to jump in always. I want to answer. I know the answer. I'm
Curiosity.
fast. Yes, I want to jump in. I want to tell you. I want to take you on to the next step.
Yeah.
But then there's something I started using behind my head. I take a blank sheet of paper. Blank sheet of paper. Imagine that. Put it behind your head. Whenever somebody speaks to you, now you say blank page. So I don't need to answer. I'm really there for you. I'm really listening. I become a compassionate leader by listening because it's all about you now. It's not about me. But Gulini, sorry, you will tell me that I was going to do something, but my brother came in and he ruined it for me. Yeah, my brothers. No, it's about you.
Okay.
So when I have that blank piece of paper behind my head and I say blank sheet, I don't look for an answer. It's only when you ask that I give you the answer. So I think listening is a skill that all leaders is a must if you want to progress in leadership.
Amazing. So listening is an urgent skill.
Yes.
Let's define it this way because you were just talking about how urgent and non-urgent things are. And aside from listening, what could be another skill as well?
Okay. The best skill I'd say for a leader is to be a compassionate leader. By compassionate leader, I mean that I genuinely care about you. I genuinely want you to grow.
True.
I'm thinking of you. And basically that's what we are, right? We are in others' service. Although they are reporting to you, you are in their service. And the way you do that is when you have the tools, the resources to achieve your goals. I by default achieve mine and the organization achieves theirs. So being a real compassionate leader and understanding your actual needs and wants is what makes all the difference. Sometimes people are good people. Everybody wants to succeed. Everybody wants to do good in the world, but we do not know what issues they have. Everybody has issues. Everybody has problems. But where's the person who wants to listen to the problems? So, help them. When you help them, this is when they will follow you because they know for a fact you have built that trust, you have built that relationship, that this person is here for me. And that's what makes a compassionate leader.
So building trust is as well a skill out of these skills.
It is. Building trust is definitely.
Mr. Ahmed AlZarooni, writing a book in leadership is not easy. Choosing different topics, choosing different chapters and pages that would matches the region, people, readers from, I mean, locals or non-locals, especially in the UAE, we have more than 200 plus different nationalities who I'm sure they will be able to read this book. What challenges did you face to bring all topics together and develop a leader's legacy book?
Okay, I'd say in terms of challenges, it was the main thing was how do I take a complex subject like leadership and simplify it the most and make it an easy read for the leader as if we are having a conversation. So, and I've received a lot of feedback. Everybody told me, or whoever's read it has told me, till now, yani, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
And once we pick up the book, we don't want to put it down. It makes so much sense, and you have captured the culture so well. I'd say I wouldn't say just the Emirati culture. I'd say the Emirati culture and everyone within the United Arab Emirates, because we are one culture.
Yes, you're right.
We are one culture. So all that you can feel it, you can see it, you can read it, and understand it very simply within the book.
Amazing. Mr. Ahmed, going back to the book, how do you encourage open and honest communication among team members to foster a culture of transparency and trust?
I'd say to have transparency and trust. First of all, we need to understand what do we mean by trust and where does trust come from. Trust, everybody speaks about it. It's the fundamental. Trust is the fundamental of all relationships, I'd say.
You're right.
Be it at work, outside work, in partnership. And that's what we like to see. Or what happens is we say, many people say, Wallah, we go to this company or this certain area and we can see it as a family environment. We see happy faces, family environment. But that family environment and happy faces would never happen if there was no trust. The trust is what builds it. But everybody speaks about trust, but what creates trust? What creates trust? Psychological safety creates trust. When I know, let me give you an example of this.
We like true stories and examples.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. It is a true story and an example. So when I'm with my brother, I let my guard down.
Mm-hmm.
I can say what I want, how I want it. I know he's not judging me.
True.
I know if he tells me something, it's for my benefit, no matter how harsh.
Younger or elder?
He's younger than me.
Younger.
He's younger than me, 6 years, but
age doesn't make a difference.
Matter.
Yeah.
He's wise. But yeah, that psychological safety that I can say whatever I want without being judged, and actually you giving me the feedback that will benefit me, that builds trust.
True.
That's what builds trust.
Amazing. Mr. Ahmed, mashallah, in the UAE, we live under a leadership who are highly skilled with leadership skills, mashallah. All of our leaders, God bless them. What influenced you to have a book in leadership and leadership skills? Like, what of the other books that you read that made you really want to be an Emirati author who speaks as well about leadership?
Well, you answered it yourself. You answered it yourself by saying we're all our leaders. Yes, our leaders, they influenced me, and they influenced me a lot. And I read many books. I've read to write this book. I've read at least 150 books, audio books included, and a lot of research went in it. And I have, in fact, read 13 books of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, which is on leadership. And there is a book he wrote as well on the quotes of His Highness, our late, the father of our nation, Sheikh Zayed. But that's the inspiration. Inspiration is everywhere we look over here. Inspiration is everywhere, alhamdulillah.
You're very right. Digging deep into the book, which chapter was very challenging for you to create? Yeah,
it was very challenging, and I love it as well. It's called Anchors and Ladders. It's a term I coined. It's called Anchors and Ladders. Anchors being places, things, people who take you down, and ladders the opposite, who help you, who are with. Like my brother's a ladder.
Sure.
I'd call somebody else an anchor, but sometimes when you're self-aware and you understand the anchors and ladders around you, it makes a big difference for your progression. It's like, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I love my mother, but my mother suffers with paranoia. And whenever she used to come, I used to be, again she's come, again she's come. And imagine, that's sad. I love her so much, but I used to feel depressed. And I didn't know that until I started becoming aware of my surroundings and understanding her true feelings and her mental state. Only then that I said, okay, this is something I have to live with. She's my mother. But the anchors and ladders, I think, is the most beneficial chapter. That's my book, so I'll say all the chapters are good. Okay? But anchors and ladders, if there's just one chapter you want to read and apply, it's anchors and ladders.
Amazing. Mr. Ahmed, which or what advice would you give leaders struggling to adapt to change? And let's say we're living in a dynamic days. Nothing is the same. We leave this room, there is a change immediately.
Yes.
So how can we adapt?
Okay, I believe, first of all, we, by nature, human beings, they adapt to change because we're constantly changing. We are babies, and then we become toddlers, we become kids, we become little adults, senior citizens. To adapt is a mindset. Regarding change, to adapt is a mindset. We have to focus on what the future holds. We have to embrace changes. And the advocates of change, they are the ones who change the world. If we do not change, or these advocates of change were not there, what would have happened? We would still be in the caves. We'd be in caves. We wouldn't be changing. It changes constantly. I'd like to read a quote, if you don't mind, from my book.
Of course, sir.
All
yours.
Chapter 13.
We really want to know what's there.
Chapter 13. Okay, a quote that sums this up.
I'm very curious to read the book, sir.
Inshallah. Okay. Quote: if you do not change, you will fall behind the changing times. If you do not develop, you will miss your ride on the world's express train. And if you do not gain knowledge, you will go backwards as days move forward. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum.
مرحبا. So this is one of the quotes.
One of the quotes.
One of the pages.
One of the pages.
I'm sure the book is rich. Mr. Ahmed, how do you as a leader manage anxiety and keep a positive mindset? We just spoke about it, but we want to talk in a clearer answer regarding this question.
Okay. First of all, in terms of a mindset, we need to understand the average human being. The average human being has 6,200 thoughts a day. 6,200 thoughts a day, and we have on average around 27 conversations a day. So that's massive. And now when we have one negative thought, what happens is it just keeps pulling one after the other. Soon it becomes into a big heap. And the only way for us to focus or to remove this is to, what I'd like to say is take it out, declutter your mind, take it out, write it. But what I do is I use a method, actually. I use it myself. I take a book. I always write. I write down everything. So I take a book, blank pages on the left and on the right. So I take out all the issues and problems that's in my head and I put it on the left page. After that, I go to the right page and I draw a line in the middle. On the left side, I write on top tasks, and on the right, circumstance. Now, let me tell you what a task is. A task is, the problem is I am overweight. So what's the task? The task is I need to go to the gym, I need to have a calorie deficit.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real. What's a circumstance? Circumstance is now we all decide to go and have dinner, barbecue, outside, beautiful place, and suddenly it starts raining. That's a circumstance. I can't hold myself accountable. I cannot hold you accountable. And we cannot do anything about it. So, but to put it in more context, I'll tell you a true small life story. I got a message from the Ministry of Justice. So I've gone through a divorce, and I was happy. I was doing something very productive, and I got this message on Thursday. So getting a message that للحكم or for what's called for verdict. So getting a message from Ministry of Justice like that, any human being is like, what's going to happen? It's like, so the same thing happened to me. When I wrote it down, I wrote it the problem and then statement and then it's a circumstance. Why? Can anybody tell me if there is any way for you or me to influence the judge's verdict? We cannot. So then why should we think about it?
Yeah.
It is what it is. Let it come in. And then based on what the verdict is, we can move it into a task and focus on the tasks. But I think that's how you keep, with so much going on, your sanity in this world.
Amazing. Mr. Ahmed, a question out of curiosity. MashaAllah, we have young faces here. We have, let's say, students, young leaders, let's say. Some of these ladies and gentlemen, you as a leader witnessed some of the leadership skills, but they can't use it, or they don't know they have it, they don't know how to use it. And it's there in our real life, actually. We can see it in school, in colleges, in our work, at home as well with the kids. So you as a leader, how would you enhance this skill, or how would you dig deeper with your peers to get out these good skills and develop it to become a great leader in the future?
Okay. First of all, what I do is simple. I believe in the term, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So if I have 5 people reporting to me, say 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 50%, then that's my strength. I'm 50%. I'm 50%. Why am I 50%? Because most of my time will go, sadly, most of my time will go with this person, looking after this person, and these people who are strong, we will forget about them. We will not develop them further. We take it for granted.
Yeah.
That's wrong. What we need to actually do in this state is we need to identify, and this is very important for each leader to know the strengths of each team member that they have. You need to be able to understand that, well, Ahmed is strong in communication. Mohammed is strong in networking. Khalid is strong in marketing, in management, whatever. So 80% of the time, the work that you give me or delegate to me should be in my strength area, so that I become stronger. And anyone, like I said before, find your purpose. First, how do you find your purpose? What's your passion? By default, many people say passion. It's a cliche, but I wouldn't use it that way. Your passion usually comes from your strength. By default, some people love music and you find them, they're good at it. Some people don't like music because they're not good at it. So where's your strength? You find your strength, connect it to your passion, and you connect it to a niche or connect it to a need that there is in the market, and work on that one thing. Become the best in that area. And that by default, you will become a leader in that field.
Amazing. Amazing. So everyone can be a leader.
Everyone can be a leader. It's a learnable skill.
We've been hearing lately the word introvert, extrovert. All generations are speaking about introvert and extrovert, and they take it for granted. Let's say people who doesn't want to communicate, okay, I'm an introvert, leave me alone. Isn't it true?
Yes.
We face this, yeah? So does an introvert cannot be a leader, or he can be a leader?
Some of the best introverts in the world are leaders. It doesn't have to do anything with the introvert or extrovert. It actually has to do with how much. What's an introvert? Now, basically, if we look at an introvert, it is a person who goes to a party and comes back drained. Everybody takes his energy. So that's a good thing. But the extrovert goes to the party and he comes home, he's more hyper. He's taking everybody's energy. So I'd say the introvert is more of a leader than the extrovert because he gives.
True.
Leaders give.
True.
But it's got nothing to do with introvert or extrovert.
So everyone can be a leader.
Everyone can be.
So here we are encouraging anyone who knows that he has or she has the skills, please improve it. Mr. Ahmed, coming to an end of this panel discussion, I really don't want it to finish, but this is the 7th question, but I don't believe it's the 7th. I came up with a lot of questions. What key strategies do you recommend for improving time management skills, specifically for busy professionals?
Okay. There is a skill that I use, and it's not mine. It wasn't coined by me. It's a book that I read. It was called Deep Work by Carl Newport. Deep Work. It's called time boxing. Now, time blocking. Sorry, time blocking. It's called time blocking. In time blocking, what you do is you take 90 minutes without any distractions whatsoever a week. As per his research, what he says is, if you block 90 minutes a week, once a week, that week is 30% more productive. Now, if you have 2 time blocks, now if I do the math, and according to him, if you have 2 time blocks, that's in a week, 5 days, that's 10 time blocks. So then 30 times 10 should be 300. So I should be 300% more productive. Now, I'm not saying that it's true. I'm not saying it's not, but it definitely works. I've tried it. I was blown away, and I encourage it.
Amazing.
But the most important thing is distractions. We live in a world of distractions. Our phone, the biggest distraction. I'd like to say a real story that happened to me. I was sitting with my son, and he was excited. And he was speaking, and then suddenly my phone rings. It doesn't ring, actually I get an email. And I see it was my CEO. So I'm reading the email, there's a problem, I'm replying, and he's talking and talking. And I didn't listen to him. I didn't listen to him at all. I finished, and then I looked at him up, and he was just looking at me. I was like, okay, what is it? He said, thank you, nothing. And he walked away. He left his basketball team. Until today, I do not know why, because I'm afraid to ask him. Keep distractions out of your life, right? Especially when you're time blocking and when you're with family. Family means family time.
So again, listening falls into the situation. Listening and understanding. Amazing. Mr. Ahmed AlZarooni, I would like to sum up my questions with the audience questions because mine will never finish. Please feel free to ask Mr. Ahmed before we end up this panel discussion. We're getting the mic right now. I think it's because of the video. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep your questions ready. I can see so many questions are coming. I hope everyone is enjoying.
Good evening. Thank you very much for your informative session. My question is, as a leaders, how we can utilize the emotional intelligence or to enhance emotional intelligence. Especially being a leader, you need to have kind of self-awareness. Before you know your team, you need to know yourself. So going to this aspect, how we can enhance it, and how we can have strong emotional intelligence.
To have strong emotional intelligence is different than to enhance your leadership skills as...
I mean to use your emotional intelligence in order to improve your leadership skills.
To be emotionally intelligent, the first thing is to really genuinely want to help the person in front of you and really listen. Listening, you will improve everything in listening. In fact, all of us have the answers in us. We know what's the issue, we know what's the problem. We just want to bring it out, but we want somebody to listen and, just guide us. Just a little bit of guiding, bring us back on track. So I'd say that's the best thing to do is listen very carefully. That's the best aspect.
Can you pass it, please? Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's so many questions I wanted to ask, but she already asked yours. She really did a good job. I have still 3 questions for you.
3.
Yes.
I thought the grilling
Very
was over.
fast, but it's very fast, and maybe it's all connected. She named, you have named Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid as your true inspiration to write this book, Leaders Legacy. May I know who's the leader in business world that who could name him as also a true inspiration for you? I'm talking about the business world.
Sheikh Mohammed, I believe that he is
Okay,
a business
and we're
leader as
talking
well.
about Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid.
Yes.
He's a visionary leader,
he is,
and of
yeah.
course for the worldwide, and we're blessed to have him. But beside Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, if you can just name
If today, I believe today it is Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
I believe it's Elon Musk because he does what he thinks is right and see where he's reached.
Thank you. And the second question, what advice would you give to the leaders to leave their legacy in their organization?
Leaving a legacy is, like you said, a legacy. So what would somebody say about you after you leave the chair? Simple. This chair is for nobody. It's for everybody. You'll come, you will go, somebody else will come. Develop that other person. Create that other person. Hand it over. When your time is done, walk away. Everybody will love you. And that's what we take from life.
True.
It's love.
Okay, thank you. I will make it short. Thank you.
It works.
Good evening, and thank you so much for such an insightful session. You have done a lot of research. You mentioned about 150 plus books. Plus, you've grown up watching all the leaders around you, and you probably one yourself. I just want to ask you that amongst your research and your own experience, what did you find very unusual or unique? Usually, we have some very standard approaches saying this will work. But sometimes something very unique and something totally out of the box would have worked. Can you share something from your experience like that with us?
I'd say understanding your boss. Understanding your boss is one of the most difficult things to do, especially if because sometimes your bosses, it's not that the boss is a horrible boss like they say, or a bad boss. It's just they're so busy that that communication gap. If you are a true leader, you will not wait for them to come to you. You have to put in the effort, and you have to go, and you have to understand. You have to set those expectations. Like I always say, assumptions. When you assume something, usually it ends up in disappointment. So instead of assuming, find out, ask. And you will not believe true leaders how much they love to give advice and help others. So I think for us to go to this person and speak to them, this is what makes, turned out to be different.
More questions? We can still take 2. 1 minute? Okay, sure.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Very insightful questions and answers to it. My question was specifically from what you said about 2 things, about blank page theory. I would want to know more about it, especially when you're like put on the spot to make quick decisions. And I can tie that bit to the next bit which I have. What would you as a leader do in hybrid or remote work situations when you are in an ethical dilemma? Doing what is profitable versus doing what is right.
What do you mean by ethical dilemma first? I'd like to understand
ethical
that.
dilemma is like when you've been given, let's take a decision pertaining to retaining members in your team. A specific, this specific person whom you have recruited about, you've been working with him or her for about year and a half. But somehow his or her performance has been like very much volatile. You know that this person deep down has potential, but you're getting a lot of pressure from the management that no, we need to reduce headcount, so we are targeting non-performers or those whom we feel can be let go. So how would you deal in such a situation? Ethical dilemma. That's what I call it.
I'd say it's more of a corporate. It happens everywhere. All corporates want to have profits. Okay. Now, for me, it is every individual is. I'll tell you a different way. I use an experiment on exercise when people ask me. They tell me, or I ask them. I ask everyone. I say, who do you think is responsible for your growth, for your promotion, and for your well-being? Who do you think it is?
Myself.
Exactly. 95% of the time, but people come back to me and say, HR, my line manager, my boss. No, this is up to you. You know what skill sets are needed. You know what skill sets are going to be needed in the future. You tell me, what did you do differently to differentiate yourself within the organization?
True.
If you're doing that, all of that, nobody will come to you. Like you said, low performers, people who don't come. There are high performers out there who are searching for jobs. So everyone today should say, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we have a job. And you know what? We are being looked after. Let's make the best of it. They need to develop themselves. That's something up to each individual. That's your birthright.
Would you have a minute to expand on the blank page theory, which you talked about?
Okay, blank page theory, like I said, is usually I take a blank page, and don't have a blank page here, but say this is a blank page. Okay, so I think about the blank page, and I think about it as if it's back of my head, especially when I use it. I started using it with my mother. So like I told you, my mother suffers from paranoia. So when she comes and she starts, it's today, whenever she speaks, I answer the question. I take my time. I answer the question. I answer again and again and again. Even the same questions, Tara. Every time she asks the same, and I keep answering and answering. And she feels good and I feel good.
Of course.
So that's what is the blank page. Anyone who comes, the problem is with us, we assume, what is he going to ask me? What if he asks me, okay, this I will answer that. Now, and what we do is, we hear, we don't listen. We are hearing sound, we are not listening. There's a difference. When you genuinely listen, you know and you have the right answers to give. You can guide. But if you're just hearing, to answer, to speak, that's when the blank page theory or the blank page method comes into play. I don't need to have anything at the back of my head. You talk. When I need to speak, I will speak. It helps a lot. Try it. You'll be surprised.
Mr. Ahmed, throughout your entire career and experience, what is the best advice you would give the younger generation that are trying to become leaders and entrepreneurs and trying to succeed in the business world?
I'd say it's difficult. It's an uphill. And guess what? You're working against gravity. You're working against naysayers, okay? And you will get many people around you who will try to distract you. The best thing is to know your anchors, to know your ladders. And when you know your ladders, name them: place, people, things, mentors, coaches. If coaches were of no good, then world champions wouldn't have had coaches. So why don't we have coaches? You'll be surprised if you go to somebody and ask them, I want you to be my mentor. You'll be surprised how quickly they will say yes, and for free. Because that's what they get happiness from. Search for someone. Always take advice from somebody in a certain field or situation that you are willing to trade places with. Now, if I'm very overweight and you're going to ask me about food, that's wrong, because I can't give you that advice, you see? So if you're willing to trade places with me regarding that particular subject, that's when you ask that question.
Now, how do I find that right guy to ask for
mentorship?
Yes.
You find the right mentor.
No, like
What
the
is-
right mentor. Like I want a right mentor now. Would
Okay.
he be free to just tell me all the time, talk to me all the time? Of
Yeah,
course, he has a lot of stuff to do.
You are right. But what is a mentor? A mentor is someone who you can go to depending on their time. Okay, they will speak to you, they will guide you, but it's a task that they will give you. And if you're not serious, guess what? And they're not going to answer your phone the next time. So it's up to you. And like I said, ask and you shall receive.
Inshallah.
I will take it from another side. Maybe I was at his stage once upon a time. Like I was looking for the right leader. I know the word leader, but the word leader to me is all my dad, my mom, and my grandparents and the sheikhs. I can't see any other people. But then I want to know how to pick up my leader. What should I into what skills can I define my leader? I have a manager, but this manager could not be a leader. If I was at his age, back in time, how can I define my leader?
How you can define
Higher,
your leader?
yes.
The thing is that's good, but we do not have the luxury of choosing our own leaders.
Yeah.
So a leader, positional leader, that's what's the difference between a positional leader and a real leader. So if you're speaking about at work somebody is your leader, you cannot say, I do not want to work with them. You have to, like I said, this is when you have to do the reverse coaching. You have to go, you have to set expectations, you have to understand their expectations, you have to document this. And you have to ask them one question. Everybody uses 5 ratings 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest performer, 5 being excellent. So tell him, I want to get a rating 5 by the end of this year. Could you please tell me, or let us agree upon a mechanism, how do I get 5?
Run after them.
Yes.
Annoy them.
Yes, and have a monthly coaching session.
Yeah.
Keep it to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not?
They're there to serve you.
Yes.
Because
Leaders,
as Mr. Ahmed said, leaders who create leaders. Inshallah. I think we have another question. Yes.
So just replying to your responding about his question, saying, I want to know how to be a leader or to ask whom to be a leader. You have to know what you need exactly, where you want to reach. All of us here, we are a leader in different ways, but you have to know where is your goal, where you want to reach and achieve. I know you want to impress others, but you have your own ways, you have your own techniques. Yes, you know how to coach your siblings, you know how to guide them, but in different ways of each of us, we're going to impress others. We're going to train. Even I reach age 50. It's not enough. Doesn't mean I know literally everything. Day by day, I'm still learning and learning more and more. I still need, like, for now, today, I got a question. I met my previous department. Recently, I got promoted as a business support officer. Thank you so much. And they asked me.
You're in the right place and right panel discussion.
This is my favorite sessions, to be honest. And they asked me, they were like, okay, Khawla, what do you think about your new environment? Because it's totally new for me, the department. I have no experience about it. And I'm like, it's a new department for me. They were like, but it's a challenge for you and they will affect you. Why you will let the environment to affect you? You're supposed to create your own environment. And in different organizations, we have bad and goods. I'm not saying no, but it depends on you how to deal with it, how to accept. You will not hear 100% or 90% a good feedback about you. Whenever you will get a bad one, it's not a totally bad means you are bad. Means you need to improve yourself, means you need to improve the skills that they're seeking to see you higher and higher. They don't want to demotivate you. That's why. So by learning more, listening, as you said, here you will show them you really care about it. I need to build, doesn't mean, oh guys, see, I'm a leader here, I want to build you guys. No, I am creating to create more and more and show others, yes, you can create more and more. Not only I'm the one who creates here.
It's influential.
So it's the way how you will.
True.
Yes.
True.
So you can do it.
True.
No worries.
Thank you very much, Khawla.
Anyone else?
Yeah, this will be the last question and we'll come to an end.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. My question might be out, but can you be a successful leader and be a nice person as well? So you mentioned Elon Musk.
That's a beautiful question. Look, I believe in segregating the two. You have to be, and if you ask me what would you want to be known as, Ahmed, I would say I want to be known as a firm but fair leader, okay, who develops future leaders. So if you tell me what you want to be known for, I'd say that. So what do I mean by fair but firm? Why fair but firm? Like you said, you have to be a nice person. I believe all human beings are nice at the end of the day. That's what I believe. Okay? Now, why? The thing is, some people do not know how to be fair and firm. It's like, say, Muhammad and Ahmed. Say, Muhammad and Ahmed, both of them work for me. Okay? Muhammad comes to work every day, hardworking, does all his KPIs, has achieved all his targets, okay? And then you have Ahmed, who is the total opposite. Yet, end of the year, now you said nice. A nice guy, end of the year, will give both of them the same rating.
Make everyone happy.
Make everyone happy, easy. But are you really making everyone happy?
Yeah.
What's happening to Muhammad?
We need to be
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah.
Muhammad is getting demotivated. Muhammad will become like Ahmed. And slowly the entire organization will become like that. There's a study that says if you are 25 feet away from a negative person or negative environment or bad environment, the productivity goes down by 30%. Your productivity, you're doing nothing different. You're just 25 feet away from him, your productivity goes down by 30%. And if you are next to a productive person, a good environment, 25 feet away, it goes up by 15%. So but the leader is the one who creates this environment. Like she said, environment, know your environment. The chapter in my book, Anchors and Ladders, is about environment and how to create your own environment and understand your own environment.
Amazing.
I think the artificial intelligence it will affect the leader quantity or quality.
Look, I think it's change. We need to embrace change, okay? And I don't believe that artificial intelligence is here to take our jobs, or I do not believe that artificial intelligence can do a real human being's job in terms of emotions. And by the time they get there, many, many years from now, this is my own belief, by the time they get there, we would have also changed and evolved, and we would have become better. So I don't think artificial intelligence being leaders, I don't think.
You can use it as a tool.
You can use it as a tool.
True.
We can use it as a tool. We can use it as machine learning. Like we can use it to help us simplify things, make it faster, but not to make real decisions that human beings. It can help in decision making, but I don't think it could take over a leadership role. No. That human touch has to be there.
We'll keep the last question with you. Sure. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Regarding Alia, his wife's favorite character. What does you see that he's successful, else his kindness, or else he's that he's doing the right thing. What the thing that make him successful like that? Elon Musk.
I think Elon Musk believes in a purpose, and he kept on working at that purpose. He did not listen to the naysayers. He just went on and he did what he said he will do, and that's what being persistent, having a vision, creating that vision into a goal, into a plan, writing it down, and following it, and just being constant, and keeping on going and going, just showing up, day in and day out. That's how leaders are made. That's how you reach there.
It's courage also. He doesn't afraid to take decisions.
Because he believes in his purpose that much. So find the real belief and go after it. And keep at it. No matter who tells you what, just keep at it. Focus.
MashaAllah, I think the panel is very interesting. We are getting a lot of questions, and people are digging deep in your book and chapters. Some of them read it, some of them not. Mr. Ahmed, we are coming to an end. We would really like to finalize this panel with a word from you before ending the session.
I'd say thank you all. It was a learning experience for me as well. Although you all grilled me, but thank you for that. And please, I'd love for you all to take these books. I brought them for you all and read it. And if you all could really give me some feedback, I'd really appreciate that. I do have a QR code at the end, which my LinkedIn, it will take you to my LinkedIn and you could connect with me from there.
But we could have from there with you directly.
Sure, of course. Yes, I will have time. I will try my level best. Inshallah.
Great leaders always have time.
Thank you. Inshallah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the end of our panel discussion, I would firstly like to thank you, Mr. Ahmed AlZarooni, for sharing your valuable insights on effective leadership and business success. I would also like to thank our guests for attending this panel discussion. I would also like to thank again the Mohammed bin Rashid Library team for hosting such event, and thank you all for participating and for your questions. We're sorry if we make it if we make the session long, but we hope you gained a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's carry the lesson. Allah يسعدكم يا ربي. الله يسعدكم.
And thank you for you as well.
Thank you very much.
You had very interesting questions.
Allah يخليكم. الله يخليكم. Allah يخليكم. Let's carry the lessons to our journey. Wish you all a successful journey, inshallah. And thank you very much once again. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed.
Can I go and remove this?
Of course.
I'll come back. I just